Concepts International in our main training center here in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. And what I want to talk about today is the two factors that really are necessary for bullying to take place. All right? There's lots of programs out there to talk about what bullying is and you know, some suggestions for handling bullies or whatever. And what I want to talk about today are the two necessary elements for bullying to take place. Okay? But before I talk about that, what I want to do is have you think about something. I want to have you think about when you were in school. Okay? Whether you're a parent now or you're an administrator handling these kind of things or whatever. I mean, you remember when you were in school years and years and years ago. Okay? Were there bullies present? Of course there were. Okay? So this isn't a new phenomenon. Okay? But there may be a reason why it's getting worse. Okay? And again, something else I talked about in another one. But what I want to look at here is the fact that relatively few people in a work environment, in school, anything like that, are actually overt bullies. Okay? And relatively few students, workers, or whatever are the targets of these overt bullies. So these are overt victims. All right? But if you look around, there's a huge number of people, there's a vast number of people that aren't being bullied at all. Okay? The bully completely leaves them alone, right? And it's not always because the bully's afraid that, oh, you know, if I go after that person, they're going to hurt me, they're going to win, or whatever, okay? That's not the case. Often, most of these people aren't even on the bully's radar. They don't even think about approaching. Or they have approached and just didn't get the response that they needed, okay? So let's take a look at these two primary factors. Let's get rid of this previous lesson that we had up here. We talked about the three types of bullies, and if you haven't seen that lesson, I highly suggest that you go on over to the website and download that so you can take a look at that lesson as well. Okay, but these two factors that are required for bullying to take place. Okay, the first one obviously is the bully, right? So that's the first one. Okay, there has to be this person who believes that it is perfectly okay to use force, the threat of force, or the threat of preventing you from getting something you really need to get what they want in the world. Okay, so it's a form of an attack, right? So we get this thing. We need to have this person who, for whatever reason, either because they are a very, very strong personality, or they have low self-esteem themselves and they just feel that it's necessary to use force to knock somebody else down so that they can appear to be better or to get what they want or whatever. Okay, so we get this whole bully thing. We've talked about this, and you can Google it to your heart's content to find out what bullying is, to get the definitions from the psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, and all that. You get that, okay? But the second part, the second thing that we need is we need a sensitive target. Okay? A sensitive target. Now I'm using these words because what's really required is someone who responds favorably from the bully's perspective. Someone who responds favorably out of fear or concern or anything like that, based on what the bully's throwing at them. Okay? So, sensitive target. All right? Now, again, think back to school. Think back to the workplace. Think back to whatever. Okay? Were there any people who were calling other people names or threatening to hit somebody or whatever, and the person, the object of their attention, laughed? Okay? Laughed it off, made a joke, patted them on the back or whatever, and they went on about their business. Sure, Okay? People do this all the time. This little nitpicking, fun, humor kind of thing going back and forth. To eliminate that kind of thing eliminates a certain type of rapport and bond building that we human beings engage in. Okay? So the answer isn't to sterilize everything and make sure that no one's using certain phrases or certain things or whatever. Okay? Because what you're going to do is basically confine the way people are allowed to operate. Okay? And you can only bottle this stuff up so much before it's going to come out in a different way. All right? So what we're looking at here is there's something about this person, the person who is feeling the effects of bullying. Okay? Because I can remember times in my life when I felt the effects of bullying, and other times in my life, now included, where people can say and do the same things to me or toward me, and they have absolutely no effect. Okay? In a previous lesson, we talked about these 3 types of bullying. Okay? You know, somebody could threaten to hurt me. Okay? Threaten to physically hurt me. Okay? Now, at this point where this lesson is going on, I'm a 13th degree black belt. Okay? And I've been training in the martial arts for over 30 years. Okay? I'm an internationally recognized self-defense expert. These things just don't bother me anymore. Now, I'm not telling you those things to impress you, but I am telling you these things to impress upon you that I've got that corner of my life handled, and people just don't come at me like that anymore, unless they don't know me. But either way, I haven't had to deal with a physical threat in well over 10 years, okay, which is ironic since the better I've gotten to handle those kind of situations, now I don't have to anymore. So, but anyway, so I've got this side handled, right? If somebody comes at me and starts calling me all kinds of names and things like that, I have a very, very high sense of self-value, but I have something else. I have the understanding that this person doesn't know me very well, okay? And chances are, they don't know me at all, okay? They may be trying to get to know me, or they may be trying to push some buttons, but they don't know me very well at all, okay? And even if we've been working together for 10 years, they don't know me. They don't know me in my personal life. They don't know me outside of whatever the context is, school, work, church, whatever it is, okay? They don't know me, okay? So I recognize that when they call me names, or they call my mom names, or anything like that, they're just throwing words out, because if they knew me, if they knew my mom, they would know that that's not true. So the point here is that I have to be sensitive to these things, and I have to literally, maybe I have to believe these things, okay? I have to not be sure about these things or whatever. But since I have a high sense of self-confidence, high sense of self-esteem, those things just don't happen. And then for those folks that is the spiritual or emotional bullies, and again, if you haven't seen the video, you really need to check out that lesson. But for those people who are going to put conditions on our friendship, love, those kind of things, right? You know, if you won't do that thing for me, then I guess we can't be friends. Now, if I'm doing something that's harmful, I can relate to that. Because if someone's going to be harmful or manipulative or deceitful or anything like that in my life, I'll make that statement, okay? If you're going to be that way, which is harmful to yourself, harmful to others, and specifically harmful to our relationship or to me or whatever, then, you know, we can't be friends. I can accept you for who you are, but I'll accept you for who you are from a distance, okay? We don't relate very well. That's not bullying, okay? But if to get what I want, or for this person to get what they want from me, they put a condition on that if I don't give them whatever they want when they want it, they're going to withhold love, friendship, compassion, caring, help, those kind of things. And it's a one-way relationship, okay? It's a my way or the highway kind of thing. Then my first defensive response is to ask this question. At what point was our love conditional upon you receiving this thing? The Lexus, the big house, the whatever, okay? At what point was our friendship dependent on you giving, or me giving you anything new and nice that I get that you don't have and you happen to want? At what point was your helping me dependent on me giving you whatever you deem necessary in the moment? Okay? This is a really good diffusing thing. using our language to allow that to happen. But either way, but if I were sensitive to these things, and bullies are really, really good at determining how these things happen, okay, the situation would be very, very different, okay, and I would feel like a target. I would feel like a victim. But what we need to understand is that this person right here is an accomplice to the bullying. Okay? And I know how strong that is, and I know how no one really wants to accept that. But this is to accept personal responsibility. Okay? Because as I've said over and over again in our lessons, and it's a main theme in our full program, that for bullying to take place, I have to allow it. I have to be an accomplice to my own butt kicking, so to speak. Okay? If I'm not that, it's not going to happen.